Hi, I'm Toastmaster Lou, the surgeon at arms for today's meeting. Let me explain some basic rules of the meeting. Please turn off your cell phone or set them on silent mode if you're not using it to join a call. Please mute your microphone unless instructed by the Toastmaster of the day. Please keep your video on unless you have the issue with bandwidth. Microphone and video options are in the bottom left corner of the Zoom window. Do not share your screen unless it's instructed by the Toastmaster of the day. Kindly refrain from movements that distract the speaker. In case you need to move, please turn off your video in advance. You can use the emoji thumbs up and claps to react throughout the meeting. For role players and especially for speakers, it is advised to pin the timer window so that they can see the timer throughout the meeting. When you begin speaking, the correct protocol is that you have to greet in following manner. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, presiding officer, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Maintain a broad smile throughout the meeting. Now, let me read out the mission statement of Toastmaster Club. Please listen to it attentively. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. We welcome all the guests today, and we will make sure that you enjoy today's meeting. Let's welcome Toastmaster of the Day, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters and guests. Will you please give our SAA a round of applause for the beautiful welcome that she's given to us and brought us into professionalism as Toastmasters. Thank you, Louis, for that beautiful welcoming message and bringing us to the table of where we are today. Our theme this evening, is when duty calls a Toastmaster. And none other than our SAA Louis, who has just brought out what this really means to bring the gate open at Toastmasters. As a gate opener, as an SAA or Sergeant at Arms, she has displayed utmost excellence in bringing this meeting to opening. So thank you, Louis. I appreciate your professionalism and your thoroughness in how you opened the meeting. Thank you so much. Toastmasters and guests, we are treated to a very warm meeting this evening or this morning, and I would like to ask the guests to be patient with us. We will give you a moment to say hi and let us know where you're calling in from, where you're joining us from, and who has invited you to this meeting. This meeting is a very special one, and I would like to introduce what it means before I invite the team that will help me to run the meeting efficiently. If you will, I would like to ask the host to give me sharing rights to share my screen. Thank you so much. Am I able to? Thank you so much. Our meeting today is very, very simple. And this is our theme. When duty calls at Toastmasters. I am simply going to share with you at the end of this meeting to have a basic idea of what the roles are as required at a Toastmasters meeting. So this is what our theme will be: when duty calls at Toastmasters. Before we go any further in the meeting, I would like to tell you what this meeting will be like today. I'll stop sharing for a bit. Our meeting will start off with our prepared speeches. And after we have our prepared speeches, we will have a moment to have what we call our table topics. The table topics is when we get an opportunity to speak off the cuff, or what we call impromptu speaking. After that, We will hear from the evaluators who will be listening attentively to our speakers and prepared speakers. And after our evaluators have given their reports, we will have evaluation reports from our tag team. And now to help me with this meeting today, I do have what we call a tag team. And I'll let you know later on what this tag team is supposed to be like. But when duty calls at Toastmasters, we have a group of people that help us to run our meeting efficiently. And this morning or this evening, I do have members of the tag team that I would like to invite to the podium to tell us what their roles will entail. And to start us off, I will invite our timer to please take to the podium and share what their role will be this morning. Our timer of the day, please take to the podium.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Today, I'm the timer. As timer, I will time table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I'll also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, at 2 minutes, I will show the green background. Excuse me, I'm having a little slow motion issue here with the download. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise, I'm sorry, let me start that over. At 1 minute for the table topic speakers, I'll raise the green background. At 2 minutes, I will raise the yellow background. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red background. Can everybody see my background?
Yes, we see the green background.
Oh boy. Okay, I will work on that so I don't delay the meeting. For icebreakers, speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I'll raise a green card. At 5 minutes, the yellow, and at 6 minutes, the red. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, again, the green card. 6 minutes, yellow background. At 7 minutes, the red. And individual evaluations should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green background. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster John. I would like to now invite our grammarian, Toastmaster Brunda, to tell us what her role will entail today.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guest, today as a grammarian, my responsibility is to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is commitment. Commitment refers to the state or quality of being dedicated and devoted to a cause, belief, or action, and it involves a strong sense of responsibility and loyalty. Example in a sentence: her commitment as a mother to her children was unwavering, and she always put their needs first. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Brunda. I would like to invite our counter, Toastmaster Grillamore, to let us know what his role will entail today.
Of course. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the ad counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or filler by anyone who speaks. During this meeting, I will listen for overused words and sounds, including and, like. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, our counter Toastmaster Guillermo. And now, Toastmasters and guests, I will always invite our general evaluator at the end of our meeting, who will then call these role takers and other evaluators to give us a report of what their role was like during this meeting. Now, I'd like to take us to our theme of the day, and allow me to share my screen once again. This, our theme of the day, when duty calls at Toastmasters. When duty calls at Toastmasters, leaders grow. Leaders grow. And at Toastmasters, there is none other than the Sergeant at Arms this morning or this evening who shared with us what this role really looks like at a club meeting. Toastmaster Louis is one person who shared her ability to open the meeting with a lot of enthusiasm and aplomb. I will simply mention what the roles are. Just give me a minute. I can see that my screen changed. Leaders serve, and the SAA role includes one, that our SAA role is the gatekeeper. She is, or he is, the mood setter. They set the mood and the tone of the meeting. They remind us of what we've come to do. They uphold the club and the Toastmasters standards. And that's why you had Louis reading the Toastmasters mission to us, taking us back to what we have come here for. The SAA also registers guests and acknowledges them privately to the Toastmaster of the day, the president and vice president membership. She or he will support the back-end roles like housekeeping roles and will provide some order to the meeting. And that is why she said to us what we're expected to do and not to do during the meeting. So what is it that I wanted to talk about when I talked about the tag team? You heard them, you heard their voices, you heard them call us to order. The grammarian introduced the word of the day. This is the person who helps us to understand, helps us to appreciate language usage. Now in Toastmasters, we do not only speak English, as you've noticed, Toastmasters has opened up to French and Chinese and other languages. But for now, we focus on the English language. And she will acknowledge at the end her role and how that has played out. The timer, Mr. John Curtis, will be giving speaking time sheets to each of us as we speak, reminding us your time is up, reminding us you're left with a few minutes to go and so on. And he will report at the end of the meeting. The ad counter tracks pulse feelers and will also report. The general evaluator, who I will mention later on, will evaluate the whole meeting and will invite evaluator reports. So what does it take for a tag team? It takes humility and collaboration, excellence and thoughtfulness, dedication and commitment. This is what the tag team will always provide. Now, Toastmasters and guests, allow me to invite our first speaker of the day. But before our first speaker takes to the podium, who is Chandra Sekar, I will invite the first speaker's evaluator to please give us what their expectation of Chandra's speech will be. Toastmaster Raghu, please welcome. Thank you.
Catherine, I am the evaluator for Chandra.
Apologies. Toastmaster Dr. Mary Thomas, please take to the podium.
Yeah, thank you. Chandra would be delivering for us the Level 2, Project 2, speech, where it involves body gestures, body language. He is expected to give us a speech of organized content with specific indentations into body gestures. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
PM Catherine, Toastmaster Catherine, can I go ahead?
Toastmaster Chandra Sekhar, accept your emotions. Accept your emotions, Toastmaster Chandra Sekhar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Catherine. How are you all feeling today? Some of you, it's evening. For some of you, it's morning. How is your general emotions today? Madam TMOD, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, as you can see, there are 6 basic emotions. Our day starts with all these emotions and we need to embrace them. Let me spill the beans and explain you all what happy, sad, anger, disgust, fear is all about. Back then in November 2022, when WhatsApp started the polls, this is my first poll in one of my office group. How people are feeling. Checking the mood meter will not only help us to identify how we are feeling, but it also helps us to embrace them and take better decisions. While we cannot control the triggers, we always have a choice to identify what are the trigger points which are causing these emotions and come up with the solutions to react or respond in a more better way. As you can see, there are primary emotions and the secondary emotions. Let me take a simple example of a primary emotion, happy. Suppose if you take one of the family member, or let me take an example of my daughter who wants an ice cream. If she gets what she wanted, it makes her happy. Same way, my wife, when she cooks something for all of us, and if we accept or let's say appreciate her, that brings happiness to her. That simple is that. Same way at workplace, if our boss is acknowledging our work, then we get this happiness. And the reverse way, if it is not happening, you can understand how we get frustrated or anger, or if it is not a positive environment, it will lead us to get fear. Let us identify what causes these emotional triggers. According to me, I wanted to present you the 4 important points, like which will be the trigger points. One is places. Second one is people, the important thing. Then the things and the situations. Let me repeat, situations, people, places, and things. These are the 4 things which causes the emotional triggers. Once we list down what are causing these situations, who are the people who are either it is a positive emotion or a negative emotion, we need to identify them and categorize them so that we will be in a good shape to understand our emotions. In natural, any of us will categorize the emotions into 2 aspects, the positive and the negative. This is subjective. Why? Because if anything is happening according to our wish, we call it a positive. It can be love, it can be joy, or it can be faith. On the same side, if it's not happening according to what a person is expecting, then we call it as fear, hate, or all these can be termed as the negative emotions. Now let's try to understand a bit deeper. Any person, the thoughts will create the feelings, and these feelings will exhibit this behavior, and the behavior we exhibit will reinforce our thoughts. Based on this, we formulate the experiences, and based on these experiences, we form the opinions. The opinions of whether we want to accept it, or we want to reject it, or we want to categorize that as a positive or a negative. This cycle goes on. This is a repetitive cycle that's going to happen. Now, I ask you, if I ask you to pick your favorite emotion, what would that be? Even adding an extra further, your favorite emotion is for sale. What would be the emotion that you will be picking? Fortunately or unfortunately, that's not possible, my dear friends. If our emotions are for sale, this is going to be the bestseller on all the Amazon, Flipkart, and all the shopping malls, and it will be out of stock. Especially in India, since it's a festival season, it will be sold out and out of stock. Let's try to identify the emotions and the trigger points, which is an important process in this journey. I request you all to reflect on this one later after my speech. Please categorize and identify what are the situations, what are the places, who are the people, or what are the things which is causing emotions or triggers in me. Categorize them as positive and negative responses and try to see, is there any readjustment that is needed, the way that you are reacting? Or if you think you are already doing it fine, pat on back for yourself and continue to do that and enrich your journey of balancing and embracing these emotions. The emotion stay time, according to psychologists, is the first 90 seconds is the crucial time. During this 90 seconds, we need to identify that, we need to label that like what is the emotion, and we need to come up with a better option to respond or react. Or else, if you continue to stay in that emotional state, it will not only disturb you, but it will also embarrass you. Let me share with you one emotional experience of mine. I'm sure you have multiple stories which you can correlate to. Back then, in 2009, my cousin was in coma and all of us visited hospital. The doctors gave up hope and they said to take home. All the near and dear, we gathered, and one of the person whom I'm not even aware of, probably my uncle's friend, he was there at my cousin's home. He was talking to someone on the phone. Maximum he'll be pushing for 4 to 5 hours. Somehow I didn't like that statement. I'm staring at him with anger. Later, I realized what emotion he exhibited is a natural emotion with his association with my cousin. While my uncle and all of us, we exhibit an emotion which is sadness, this person exhibited his natural emotion. While we cannot control the other's emotion, we have a choice to control our emotions. I'm sure multiple examples are there to witness our emotion. And one more example is with the example of fear. When I'm walking with my daughter in the park, there is a dog that came in. While it did not affect me, my daughter got panicked and she came running with fear. Imagine, had it been a tiger, I would have experienced the same fear. What are the inferences we can draw out of these two incidents? The emotions are natural and they are part of our day-to-day life. I request you all to greet your feelings with kindness, embrace them and accept like all the feelings, all our natural emotions, and we need to bring acceptance to them all. How can we manage these emotions? One of the approach I follow is walking and meditation. This helped me to bring clarity of thought and keep my emotions in balance. At least if I cannot save anything to be entering into, I can at least pause my response or not hurt others. Finally, I would like to summarize and conclude that the emotion sometimes that can break your heart is sometimes the very one that heals it. So, my dear friends, to summarize, embrace your emotions and bring love and acceptance to them all and enjoy your life journey. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Round of applause. Toastmaster Chandra. Indeed, the emotion that can break your heart is sometimes the emotion that can heal it. That is something I'm learning that is new. And thank you for sharing your thoughts through your speech. I would like to invite our second speaker, DTM Pramod. Before he takes to the podium, may I ask his evaluator, DTM Raghu, to come and give us his expectations of his speech.
One of the key aspects for us before we speak is to understand the audience. And then when we are speaking, connecting with the audience. And today, DTM Pramod is attempting level 3 project from motivational strategies is connecting with the audience. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. And I wish DTM Pramod all the best. Over to Toastmaster. So do you want me to invite Pramod? Okay.
I was just expecting.
DTM Pramod, sense of shame in going wrong. Sense of shame in going wrong, DTM Pramod.
Madam President, fellow and future Toastmasters, greetings of the day. First, I must thank Chandrasekhar for setting the stage. When you act on emotions, what comes next? Sometimes it's regret, sometimes it's satisfaction. To tell my story, I need to take you back to 1,000 years where a meaningful conversation happened between King Yudhishthira and sage Sanala Sujata. Yes, I am talking about a conversation that happened in Mahabharata. They were talking about leadership. And Sanala Sujata said, there are 7 deadly sins in leadership. Then again, Yudhishthira asked, may I know which is the gravest one? He said, I will tell you in a positive way. A good leader will always have a sense of shame in going wrong. Now we are in the corporate world. We take a number of decisions every day. Do we actually own our decisions? When somebody tries to correct it, are we ready to accept that? I doubt. I'll give you 2 examples that happened in the world, 2 different parts of the world. One that happened in USA. A company called Enron. I'm sure that you're all familiar with the name Enron. What happened to the corporate Enron? In fact, they were the one they promoted for implementing a law on corporate governance in US, popularly known as Oxley and Sarbanes, or SOX in short. After some time, the CEO, the board, and the company accepted that they had done fraud on investors and they had manipulated the book and they went bankrupt. That's one example. There is another company in India which is called Satyam. You know what is the meaning of the word Satyam? Satya means truth. But there is nothing truth about that company. In 2006, the CEO of Satyam, he openly called a press conference and he said they were manipulating books. And also the company went bankrupt. When the press asked the auditors, what happened to Satyam? The auditor said, there is nothing left in the right side of the balance sheet and nothing right in the left side of balance sheet. Then came a new buzzword or emerging trend called ESG. It is called environmental, social, and governance. If you are an investor, I'm sure you would be considering the impact of ESG in your portfolio. Now, everybody carefully watches a company based on these three words, whether a company is following ESG norms or not. There are many people like renowned Professor Dr. Ashwath Damodaran. He is deadly against the word ESG. He says that it is the creation of the corporate world to reduce the profit and fool the people. He says that it is the fraud of the century. But I don't believe that. I think ESG is a must. What's ESG? ESG is a company's commitment to the society, to the environment, to the stakeholders. It's part of ethical leadership. I was reading all about this a year back when an incident happened in my office. I work in a bank. You know, we bankers are not a nice people to know. We sell insurance, even if you don't want it. We take your money when we need it, and we don't give you money when you need it. I got a call from a 72-year-old widow one day. Her name is Rajni Kidwani. She's settled in Japan, and she had taken an insurance policy in the name of her daughter. She's also close to 50-year-old. The thing is that she had put in all her money in that particular policy, believing that this policy will give her a constant return of a particular sum every month till her death. But unfortunately, that was a different fund. In fact, after 10 years, when she went on and she checked her account, she found that the value of the policy is close to zero because of the market conditions. And she was depending on this money for various things. Remember, she was 72. When I received this complaint, I called the person who sold this policy. I asked him, did you follow the instructions from the investment department of our bank that you have to consider the willingness and ability of the investor? He said, yes. Then I asked him, did you consider the suitability of selling this product to this 72-year-old lady? He said, she signed an acceptance of the deviations. I said, it's not correct. Then it was a difficult question because I knew that even she had approached Reserve Bank of India, that is the apex body of banking in India, or she approached the banking ombudsman, she wouldn't get justice because she had signed all the documents and there are two witnesses also. It was a foolproof fraud. The only solution available with me is to accept that I have done something wrong. During that time, this was a time when the war in Israel has not started. But I was reading an article in Washington Post about an incident that happened in the 1970s when Israel and Jordan, they acted sincerely to make peace within these countries. One major incident happened. a lunatic soldier at the Jordan border openly fired and killed 7 Israeli girls when they visited the border. It was a sensitive incident, and that time the king of Jordan, King Hussein, was on a visit in Spain for a diplomatic mission. Once he heard about this thing, he flew back to Jordan and he knelt before the parents of the children and he begged for mercy. It was a classical example of an acceptance of something wrong. He begged for the mercy of the parents and he accepted that we did something mistake. And that one incident prevented from spoiling the peace process between Jordan and Israel. And that's a good example of a leader when he accepts that something had gone wrong and he had the sense of shame. This one particular incident prompted me or motivated me to accept that my person has done something wrong and we have to accept that. And finally, what happened? We accepted that it was a wrong selling or mis-selling, and we had refunded the entire amount to the lady with interest. That's how we ended it. Though we created some loss, but we opened a new chapter of corporate leadership in our bank because we understand that ESG is beyond profit. ESG is for humanity. ESG is for the next generation, and it only adds value to your organization, your brand, and your personal integrity. I'm sure that here in Toastmasters also, when we accept that somewhere we have gone wrong, it increases our value as leader. It never dismisses or reduces your value as a leader. A good leader always accepts the mistake. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Catherine.
Wow, indeed. It never diminishes your leadership. It increases your value. Thank you so much, DTM Promote, for bringing light to what ESG really means for us. So thank you. We will now take a minute, Toastmasters and guests, to give our prepared speakers feedback. I will ask you to go into the chat room for a minute. Timer, will you please give us just 1 minute? Please give them feedback on their very specific speeches that they gave. That is Toastmaster Chandra Sekar and DTM Promote PB. Just a minute to give them feedback, honest feedback on what you thought their speeches have done to you or have brought light into your perspectives and understanding. Thank you so much, our prepared speakers. Timer, are we okay? Is our minute done? Okay. And now I would like to take us back to our theme before we have our table topics. Remember, we talked about the tag team. We talked about the grammarian, the timer, the air counter, and the general evaluator. And I talked about 3 major things that are required for us as Toastmasters when duty calls. We should have humility and collaboration, excellence and thoughtfulness, dedication and commitment. Thank you, grammarian Toastmaster Brunda, for giving us the word commitment. And now I would like to share with you what happens to us as Toastmasters when we step up to the plate, when we take these roles, when we give them our all, what happens to us. For example, the SAA. This is what happens to the SAA. They gain valuable interpersonal skills. communication, and the ability to open meetings with aplomb and excellence, just like Toastmaster Luizu did. The grammarian gains language enrichment, listening skills, and reporting. The timer gains accuracy, listening, integrity. For you to say exactly how much time someone has taken, it takes integrity, attentiveness to detail. The air counter, speaking quality, because you get an opportunity to hear yourself and hear other people. Use pulse fillers. You become sensitive to those things. You gain listening and attentiveness skills. And I will briefly say the general evaluator will also get executive presence, superior listening, attentiveness, presiding through evaluation, reporting technique, and speech, and will also gain an opportunity to give constructive feedback. All these roles can shape our work ethic, our relationship goals, our interpersonal business and professional relationships, and they all contribute to our growth as greater communicators and leaders at Toastmasters when duty calls. Thank you so much, Toastmasters and guests, for taking us, listening to me as I shared with you the basic roles at a Toastmasters Club. I will now invite our table topics master, DTM Milind. He will let us know what his role will entail and take us away with helping us to learn to speak off the cuff. DTM Toastmaster Milind.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day and our presiding officer, Catherine, and thank you for the wonderful tutorial you are giving on roles. And I'm sure we're not going to have any dearth of role players from now on. Thank you very much. So my job today is that of a table topic master. Table topics for the new members and the guests who are present here today is a way in which in a Toastmasters meeting, we help you improve your impromptu speaking skills. You know, we all, when we are in a professional environment, when we are told to prepare something, we take time, we prepare and we come and deliver. But it is also very important sometimes to be able to reply quickly, answer quickly, give a quick feedback on things, correct? So that is what is impromptu speaking, and that is what we're going to be learning or practicing a little more. So now how it goes for, especially for guests, I can see quite a few guests over here is, I will give you a topic. When I give a topic, you have about 20 seconds to think about the topic. After you have thought for 20 seconds, then you can start speaking. And you are expected to speak for a minimum of 1 minute. When 1 minute is over, our timer today, John, will show a green card. Means that you have completed 1 minute. When you complete 1.5, he will flash a yellow card. And when you complete 2 minutes, he will flash a red card. You are expected to stop within about 15 seconds after the red card is shown. So this also teaches you the art of managing your time and speaking to the point in a proper way, so that you should be able to think about the topic, talk about it, and make sure that you are not talking and talking and talking. So it's a very important skill which we try to build into Toastmasters. Now, in order to give you the flavor of it, I was going to ask an Toastmaster. I'm going to give him a topic so that he or she demonstrates how a table topic is delivered, so that the guests can understand a little better, and then I'm going to ask some of the guests also today. So be prepared, okay? Because you have come here to learn something. Let the learning begin today. So I'm going to first call upon our timer, John. You know, he is doing a thankless job today, and I think we should reward him for it. So John, you have to go, you're going to manage your own time, okay? I'm not going to tell you about time. You see how you can manage your 1.5, 2, okay?
Okay.
There is a reason why I'm calling John. John, number one, I appreciate his commitment. It is, I think, 4:30 in the morning where he is, number one. Number two, John represented our club at the district semi-final in table topics. Okay, so, and he won, and he would have gone one step further also. So, John, let me begin with you, John. So you manage your time, yeah? So the topic for John is a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. John, your topic is, be the change that you see most in your world. Be the change that you see most in your world, or you want to see the most in your world. Toastmaster John.
Well, thank you for that topic, Table Topics Master Malund. Be the change that you most want to see in your world. I think that change drives a lot of progress and success. For example, currently I'm working in a new role, relatively new role. I've been doing this for about 3 months, and I've taken over from a predecessor, great guy, very well organized, and he had his systems in place to manage the projects that I'm managing right now. But as I got more into the role, I started discovering that there was a few things that could be improved. I use the example when I talked to a colleague that he built the house, but I am cleaning the windows and polishing the doorknobs. And what I'm driving is change to improve the system. So although he had things that were working, standing on the shoulders of giants is a quote that I always like to hear. And now I'm able to see further because those basic systems are in place. But if we don't find places for improvement, it's either a perfect world or it can be improved. So in conclusion, change drives improvement, and improvement in business drives success. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Topics Master Malund.
Thank you, John. So wonderful way in which you constructed your speech and landed. It's very important that when you are closing your table topic, you conclude properly, because what you say last remains in the mind of the audience the most. Correct? So it's very important that you conclude. Okay, so now I'm going to ask volunteers from Toastmasters as well as guests. Okay, so the way we do it is we raise our hand, like Chandra has already done. And I want more. Chandra is a Toastmaster. I want to give opportunities also to some guests over here. So guests, please raise your hand. Chandra, of course, I'm going to give you an opportunity also. So Chandra, are you ready? But in the meantime, guests, please start raising. Yeah, Rishika, yeah, okay, I'll come to you. Let's give Chandra a chance, and then we come to Rishika, okay? So Chandra, I think you gave a very nice speech. Now let me give you a nice topic. The topic for Toastmaster Chandra is, in a sound body rests a sound mind. In a sound body rests a sound mind. Toastmaster Chandra. John, timer.
Table topic master, fellow Toastmaster, and guest. Sound body gives a sound mind. I completely agree with that. Let me take you back and explain my own story. 7 years back, when you are thoroughly full-fledged, like say, working without even worrying about the other things, and there is only one thing which grabbed my attention or undivided attention. It was work. So because of that, in the IT profession, most of us catched up being either obese, or like say we landed up turning that we have a very redundant lifestyle, which is not so good for our health. As we rightly say, we only realize unless we jumped into the dirt, like we'll not realize like what is that, like we missed all about. That's how I even realized one fine day, I opened my eyes and started focusing on my health. As a child, we used to be playing for hours, but still we will not feel tired. What is the reason? Because we have a great metabolism. That is what I'm able to correlate to and see that is missing while we are working. I started doing a baby steps. Started with my walking and slowly extended that to running and started doing, like say, I kept a life goal to myself that I need to participate in one of the events of a marathon. That's how I again came back to the normal form and realized that the strong body will only give us the strong mind. It will not only keeps us healthy, it also will not keep us tired, and we can work hours and hours because that is the energy. While we cannot change the time, we can increase our energies, and thus we can improve our performance. Thank you, Toastmaster Milan.
Thank you. So I hope the guests are understanding how we heard John and now we heard from Chandra. Chandra gave his own personal example. When you give your own example in your story, you bring in that much more of conviction. Okay, so I'm going to Vrinda, Pramod, I have seen your hands, but I'm going to give a little opportunity to our guests, and then time permitting, I'm going to come to you. So I had promised Rishika. Rishika, you are a guest, right?
Yeah, this is my first time joining Toastmasters Club.
Wonderful. And I want this to be not your last time. Okay. So that's my job. So, okay. I'm going to give you a topic, Rishika, and you now understood when I give you the topic, don't be in a hurry to start.
Yeah.
Take 15 seconds, think about it, think about an example, a story, incidents, so that you can create a nice 1.5 to 2 minute speech. Okay. And next, Dulanji, please be ready. Okay. I'm warning you in advance. So be ready. You're going to be the next speaker. Okay. So Rishika, the topic is genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. I'm going to repeat. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Guest Rushika.
May I ask the meaning of perspiration?
Perspiration means sweating, working hard.
Okay.
Okay. And inspiration is inspiration. Correct?
Okay.
And you clear about your timing protocol. Correct? Best wishes to you. Take it easy. Nobody's going to hang you. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So I completely agree with your statement that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. And I strongly believe that working hard is very important. And I believe that luck comes for the prepared. So I think not everyone is a born genius, and you have to practice and work towards your goal to get the skills you require in that particular field and become a genius. So if someone is really good at what they are doing, they are called genius. But we don't know the backstory of those people.
Yes, you're doing good. Continue. You got another 1 minute.
Well, yeah. So that's exactly why I have joined Toastmasters. I am not good at communicating my thoughts spontaneously, but I want to learn that and I want to work hard for that. And that's exactly why I joined Toastmasters Club. So previously, I had a story where when I was doing my bachelor's, there was a class for soft skills, and suddenly they have given me a topic to talk about on stage. Actually, they were calling random people, and I was praying that they do not pick me. And for my bad luck, I was picked, and I went to stage, and I froze for like after speaking for 2 minutes, I froze for 15 minutes, and I was completely ashamed, and I just dropped that class and I picked another class. So I'm actually proud of myself that I am willingly putting myself in the uncomfortable situation and trying this thing. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Wonderful. Give her a big round of applause. Yeah. You are absolutely on the dot in terms of what you spoke, your example, the way you constructed, the way you concluded, and your timing. So, John is also very happy that he didn't have to ring the buzzer. Okay, so the Dulanji, and then I'm going to come to Shanda. Okay, Shanda, so stay ready and let's have Dulanji. Dulanji, are you tense?
No,
Yeah,
no,
take it
I'm not.
easy. Take it
Yeah.
easy. Yeah, this is a place where you come to fail. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. It's a topic which is very relatable to what Rishika said and what you are right now feeling. So Dulanji, your topic is on the other side of fear lies success. On the other side of fear lies success. Guest Dulanji, take time, don't be in a hurry, be easy, and do your best.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. This is my first experience. Actually, this topic is related to me actually personally. That I am having the fear to communicate with others, and especially when it comes to English, it's not my mother tongue. So it's even though I am having some knowledge, it's difficult to speak with others. So in order to be success, I have to develop my skills because as a as I'm a doctor in profession. So even though I'm having some skills, I feel that I am dragging down because of this my issue in my communication. So I seek for an opportunity to develop my skills, and I found about this platform. So that I'm having this fear, so I try to outcome from this fear. So I believe that I will gain success by participating in this platform. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. You see that? And you are a doctor, you are in good company. We have at least one doctor right now sitting over here, Dr. Mary Thomas. She is a doctor, and we have another doctor, Dr. Stefan Rui. So, this is the place for you, I must say. We already have two. One more, would really make it a wonderful triad of doctors. So great.
So sorry, Topics Master Mullen. Is everybody able to see my timing card?
Let's ask Dulanji. Dulanji, were you able to see John? I was able to see John.
You're visible. You're visible.
Okay.
If you want to make sure, you can raise your hand so that you will always be visible on the left side of the screen. Raise your virtual hand. You'll always be there.
Captions? Where is that?
It's down in reactions.
Reaction, correct.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, folks.
No problem.
No, thank you.
So
Thank you.
while John is trying to do that, no, John, you have raised the applaud hand. Raise hand.
Oh yes, that's another similar.
Okay,
reaction.
so Shanda, are you ready? And John, after Shanda, do I have time for another one topic? You have to tell me that, okay? But I have promised, so. Okay, Shanda, are you ready?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Wonderful. Shanda, are you a Toastmaster, by the way?
Not yet. Soon. I'm going to sign up.
Wonderful. So you are clear about the rules, everything you are clear? Yeah?
Yeah.
So when I give you a topic, think for 15 seconds, take your time, then be mindful of John, green, yellow, red, and try to stop around red a little. So your topic is failure is the highway to success. Failure is the highway to success. So guest Shanda.
So failure is the highway to success. That is absolutely true. We can't be successful without failures. I have found that every time I try to be perfect, it just doesn't happen. No one's perfect. I have learned so much in my failures. I have learned about myself, about others, and also about the topic at hand, whether it be business or maybe it's personal. Failure is a way to ensure commitment in something as well. So when you're committed to something, failure is not going to hold you back. Failure is just going to push you forward. And that is what I have found, is that when I'm fully committed to something, Failure only propels me to the next level. I feel successful in failing. So with that said, failure absolutely is the highway to success.
Wonderful, wonderful, Shandina. And does somebody want to take a guess? What is the full form for fail? I mean, it is my acronym. I don't know whether that fail stands for
First attempt in learning. First attempt in learning.
First attempt in learning. Wonderful, wonderful, Chandra. So, John, do I have time for one more? Vrunda and Pramod.
You're out of time right now.
You can give chance to Vrunda. She doesn't have any role today. Maybe small role.
I'm anyway going to give chance to her only.
Yes.
Because she is my mentee and she's not really, responding to my request.
Mine is not important. I had a long speech.
I'm going to give Vrunda a tough. Tough one. Very relevant, according to me. Last week we had somebody talking about that you should grab opportunities, you should say yes, say yes. We had our division director come and talk about it. Today I'm going to give you a topic which is exactly opposite of that. So topic for Toastmaster Vrunda is importance of saying no. Importance of saying no, Toastmaster Vrunda.
Well, who else can learn the importance of saying no than me, who's a perennial person who says yes? It's more about my interest. I feel that I end up saying yes. And just yesterday, I was looking at some tips and tricks for time management. And the foremost was learn to say no and build that habit of saying no by refusing one activity wherein you were to say yes and you had to go ahead and say no. I've been trying to do that since yesterday. I wanted to so badly go for a Toastmasters meeting and I stopped myself, said no. That was hard. Today, I have tried to take up something else, a more brave one, because at work I tried to say no. It went by smoothly, so two is a charm. Third would be a better success, is what I'm thinking. I feel that, with this, going through that emotional challenge of going from one level to the other, I feel that I'm building that muscle to say no respectfully. And you never know when I say no to you next time. It's just, I think, the way of building muscles, just as we practice and practice makes you perfect. I think saying no would make me perfect in saying no in a better way next time. Till then, I've at least realized the value of when to say yes, and don't be ever generous saying yes, and sometimes use that power of saying no. I think no has the power and it increases your value. And remember that, at least to myself, I'm going to say that never say never, but never say yes all the time. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for a very powerful. And Vrunda, by the way, was our humorous speech champion of our club and went on to represent us at the semi-finals of the district. Like John, when he was there for table topics, he unfortunately couldn't participate, but Vrunda participated in both. So thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed it. Table topics, impromptu speaking. And let me, towards the end, before I hand over the control back to our Toastmaster and presiding officer, give a disclaimer. All these sentences are from this wonderful, wonderful book. The book is Robin Sharma. It's a small book. Who Will Cry When You Die? It's from that. These are some quotes. I'm right now keeping it at my bedside. I read about 3-4 chapters. There are 101 chapters in it, all 2 pages. So I keep it, and I was just reading, and some of these sentences I picked up from there. That is how you have to make your life a little easy at Toastmasters. Back to you, presiding officer and Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, John, for your help.
Round of applause for our table topics master. Thank you so much, Titi and Melinda, for waking us up, for bringing us warmth when we hear each member open up It's an opportunity for us to bond. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. It is almost time for us to get to that part of our meeting where we get to hear feedback, where we get to understand what was happening to us as we listened, as we engaged. And this is when we get to hear from our evaluators and our tag team. And to do that, I would like to welcome our area director, who is also our general evaluator today, Mike Yang, to take us on, invite the evaluators and also the tag team to give their report. And after he is done, he will evaluate our meeting. Mike Yang, the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. How many of us get honest evaluation in our daily lives? Your friends tell you what you want to hear. People all over the place in every role are responding to their own advantage as much as yours. But in Toastmasters, it's one of the places where you get honest evaluation, gives you a chance to grow. And first, we're going to get into our speech evaluations. And to help us do that, help me welcome Dr. Mary Thomas, evaluating Chandra's speech. Take it away, Mary.
Thank you, General Evaluator. And of course, my speaker, Toastmaster Chandra, who is from Nizampet Toastmasters Club, Hyderabad, India. Congratulations and thank you very much for coming to our club to present a very interesting speech, very apt and very on the spot for all of us to know, to understand, and of course to accept our emotions, which was your title. The purpose of this speech was effective body language. The speaker is expected to display as much as possible non-verbal communication, whether it's intentional or unintentional. When we talk about body language, gestures, non-verbal communication, it means anything that comes from our physical body. It could even be something like flipping your hair. It could be something like frowning. It could be something with hands. Most of the time we use our hands. Toastmaster Chandra, you did use sufficient body language, facial expressions, and movement in order to display and tell us about your speech. You also had an organized speech with content that was related to your title. Your title, of course, I'll repeat that, accept your emotions. It was in an informational format. Let me give you a few pointers that will help you to upscale your speech. The first one was you chose a title that was very much in line and helps you to exhibit non-verbal communication, accept your emotions. Most of us, when we get emotional, whether it's joy or sorrow or anything, it comes from both verbal and non-verbal. Now, in your case, you did do that, but what happened was you did a slide presentation. Therefore, you became a little tiny box on the side because you did not come on gallery or you were not spotlighted. What was spotlighted was the screen share. Therefore, I missed your non-verbal communication, which is the crux of this speech. The second one was that it'll be better if you have a speech which elicits body gestures. Example, showing anger. There's a lot you can show in anger. Showing sadness. voice modulation when you are showing moments of despair. And when I go into despair, I'm not going to shout. I'm going to speak softly. These are the areas I would like you to look at and improve so that your speech will be more powerful the next time. I thank you again for coming to our club. Back to you, Toastmaster, General Evaluator.
Thank you for that wonderful evaluation. That was very insightful. Next, we're going to have distinguished Toastmaster Raghunatha Raju evaluating Pramod's speech. Please take it away.
Raghu, are you there? Yeah. Okay.
Toastmaster Mike, I know both the names are tongue twisters for you, but that's the life to struggle.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Okay. In life, there's always struggle, especially a fear of losing, fear of going or doing things wrong. And even that is what I'm struggling with recently, especially when it comes to contest. Distinguished Toastmaster Pramod, you did a good speech today, and then I was able to relate to some situations in my own life. And being a banker, you banked upon certain facts where even bought some things talking about your banking experience too. If I have to talk about best things that you did in your space, first was starting with the opening, and then you connected with the previous speaker when he has said the stage right, and then you opened with an anecdote from Mahabharata. It was intriguing, and I wanted to hear more what you're going to talk about. You also created audience interest with the anecdotes and the stories that you have added to your speech. You have a great voice modulation, the voice that commands respect and commands people attention. Now, if I have to talk about improvement, this project has asked for you to connect with audience and bring an unfamiliar topic. When you started the anecdote on Mahabharata, I was intrigued and I was looking forward what you are going to talk about in Mahabharata, and especially to an international audience who don't know ABCD of Mahabharata. Probably when you are going to talk about it, you should have set a context for them to understand what is Mahabharata, what are those two characters, and then how you are relating to your story. And the second point I felt was that there was too many anecdotes for someone to follow as a smooth way to understand the context. Probably next time, try to shorten or decrease the number of stories that you use. Overall, if you're a wonderful storyteller, there's a wow factor in your speech that the stories that you narrate, where you bring the interest of the audience. Summarize, distinguished Toastmaster Pramod, you are a great storyteller and a great speaker too. Next time, I want you to connect with the audience in a way where you bring the interest and at the same time, they reduce the number of stories you use in your speech. I wish you all the best for your future speeches. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Raghu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Raghu. Now we're going to get into the tag team reports. And first up will be the timers report. John, can you give us the timers report?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Both the prepared speeches, unless I missed something, went a little over. Mr. Chandra, I got you at 9 minutes and 47 seconds. And Pramod, you're very close at 9 minutes and 42 seconds. Table topics, I came in at 1 minute 45 seconds. Chandra at 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Rishika at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Dolanji at 1 minute and 20 seconds. Chandra at 1 minute and 1 second. And Barunda at 2 minutes and 3 seconds, all showing commitment to staying within the time frame. And the evaluators, Dr. Mary Thomas at 3 minutes and 19 seconds and Raghu at 2 minutes and 41 seconds. I appreciated listening to your evaluations. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Now, can we please hear from our awe counter, Guillermo?
Of course. Sandra, I didn't find any filler words, but I loved your process to recollect your thoughts. Pramod, I only found one in your whole speech, so very nice job. Milind, I heard a few stutters from you and a few ums, so let's be aware of that. John, no filler words from you in the table topics. Chandra, again in table topics, no filler words, and I loved your process. Rishika, I found a few us, but very well done. I applaud you for coming first time in Toastmasters. Congratulations. Dulanji, I also found a few us. You mentioned English is your second language, so well done. Shanda and Brunda, no fillers from you. And no fillers also from our evaluators, Dr. Mary and Raghunanda. So back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Guillermo. So to complete our tag team reports, Varunda, can you give us the grammarian report, please?
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'll start with the word of the day, commitment. Thank you, Milind. Thank you, John, for using the word commitment. If at all I have missed somebody else, then please assume that I was so mesmerized listening to you that I forgot to notice it. Talking about some good usage of language, I noticed some good phrases. John said, standing on the shoulders, which was great. Rishika said, luck comes for the prepared. Great usage, Rishika, especially since it was your first speech and you could think about good phrases. That was really awesome. Talking about some grammar, where there is areas for improvement. Chandra, maybe in the flow of your speaking, you said about when you were talking about emotions, you said emotions which is causing instead of saying which are causing. Second one was all of us visited hospital. Instead of using the article, all of us visited the hospital. Dulanji, I want to say that you had some issues with grammar, but you were able to communicate your ideas well, and that resonated more with us. Please remember, communication is the exchange of ideas, and grammar comes next. I don't know as a grammarian if I can say that, but I really appreciate that we could resonate so well with your ideas, and I truly believe in that. Ideas matter more. Raghu, there was one thing which respectfully I wanted to remind you. You said intrigued, which is actually to be pronounced as intrigued. That's all from the table of the grammarian. Back to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time for my report of the general evaluation of the entire meeting. I won't comment on the speeches because the speech evaluators have already done an excellent job of that. I was impressed right away with the Sergeant of Arms. That was one of the most complete and thorough explanations and introductions and orientations that I have heard a Sergeant at Arms give. That was very well done. It was sort of an unusual meeting in that our Toastmaster, Catherine, gave sort of a segmented presentation that was in in a couple of different blocks about the importance and the details about meeting roles. Both speeches were very well done. I was again very impressed with the table topics and the table topics master taking extra care in trying to relax the speakers and just ease them into their talks. Questions were also very they were open enough to give people a chance to express their own opinions, and yet specific enough to channel them into very useful types of feedback. Both evaluators were outstanding. It's so easy in evaluating a speech to just say good job, but that doesn't really help the speaker very much. It might give them a little nudge of joy at the time, but if you don't fail, as our one of our questions was referring to, you don't learn. So I thought that yes, both evaluations were very well done, specific advice on what could be improved, and yet given in a way that the speakers that was very respectful to the speakers. All four of the tag team reports were done very well, and that would conclude my evaluation. I have a couple of suggestions really quick. One would be that in order to really sort of add a little bit more polish to the meeting, it was very polished, but I'm just suggesting more, is that you could have the titles of the speeches printed on the agenda. I think that helps a little bit with all of us understanding what's going on. And also, I know this is hard, but to get a little bit more involved introductions when you're introducing the different people in all the roles. It takes extra work. Sometimes you have to think, okay, what makes this person stand out, or what's special about them, or to actually poll them and say, what would you like me to say during your introduction? These are little things that could just add a little bit more polish. Clean the windows, polish the doorknobs. And overall, it was one of the best meetings that I have seen in quite some time. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be your general evaluator this evening. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, our general evaluator, Mike Yang. Thank you for giving us your time, for coming to join us, not just as a role taker, but also as an area director. We feel like we have an umbrella over our heads. Like children, we feel affirmed, we feel loved. So please keep coming. We feel very, very, very special when you come and join our meeting and connect with us. It's more than just Toastmasters meeting when we see you in the meeting. So thank you, and thank you for affirming our great points, and thank you for bringing us to the next level. We will be working on flagging our agenda and engaged introductions. That is something we want to grow into, and all the other details that you have mentioned that we will go into. We look forward to calling you up again and say, hey, what do you think our meeting was like? Have we got any better? But like DT and Promote said, there's no end to improvement. There's more coming out. So we're looking forward to getting better. Thank you so much. Toastmasters and guests, will you agree with me that this was a fantastic meeting? I believe it was. And I would like to thank you all role takers and our speakers, prepared speakers and volunteer speakers who took to the stage, giving impromptu speeches. Thank you so much once again for making this meeting worthwhile. I would like to invite you all to, for those of you who are visiting us and have not yet taken a chance to join Toastmasters, I'm going to invite you to share your details so that we can get you onto your journey. But also for those of you who would like to have another club to belong to, I think Toastmasters for Professionals is that club where you get that edge, that support, and that growth. So take a chance on us. Give us your time, give us your ability to come and grow with us. You will not regret it. I have been a member of this club and I feel the lift, I feel the edge. I feel like I'm better than I was as a Toastmaster belonging to a club like this one. So I will invite you to take a chance on us, and join this club. I would like to now adjourn the meeting as the president of the club. And thank you all for taking the time to join this meeting. But one more announcement before we go is for those of you who would like to attend the district showcase, I would like to encourage you, if you can, tomorrow night is the deadline for signups. It's now $20. It was at a $10 discount, 15, and now it's at 20. If you'd like to join, please go ahead. Do not miss out on special speakers like Frank King and Vikas Jingran. You will enjoy these speakers, but also to hear how the table topics and humorous contests will take shape. So it's an opportunity for us. If you can, please sign up and attend these events. Thank you once again. It has been a very fruitful Toastmasters meeting. I would like to give a round of applause to our club officers, Willamo, Dr. Mary Thomas, and she has Hector in absentia for the hard work they put in to make our club look good. Thank you so much for the hard work.